Tina.
You know that you can hide yourself if you want.
What, you mean the video? Stop video?
No, not stop video. If you look, okay, Erev Shabbat Vayakhel. Okay, we're live. If you look at the top left of your screen of your image,
it says live.
You have 3 dots, and then you hide yourself.
Oh no, I don't think. Hang on, I've got live, on custom live streaming.
No, you have to go the top corner right. Sorry. So
right. I've got view.
Right. Sorry.
Got view.
Yes. So now, you go on your picture, on yourself.
Oh yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Jason, Shabbat Shalom. We're just setting everything together. So yes, if you go on your image, on your figure, on your picture,
I've got it.
and then you can hide yourself.
Okay.
Okay, Jason, Shabbat Shalom. Jill, Joyce, you're here. That's good to have you with us. Shabbat Shalom, Joyce. Jill as well. Natalia, Shabbat Shalom, Natalia. So tonight it's a bit special because Tina Higgins will co-lead the service with me, and we are very excited because it's a first time. Yeah, Rabbi Tina. What have you done with the boss? I'm still here. Don't worry, Sandra. Janet, Shabbat Shalom to you. James is here as well. Craig, I can see Craig. Yeah, so yeah, it's a shared service tonight. And Deborah is here as well. Shabbat Shalom, Deborah. And Rebecca. Yeah, this is fun, of course. You know, I just said to Tina, just be yourself, and it's gonna be all right. So Teresa, Shabbat Shalom, Teresa. It's good to have you from somewhere in Alsace. Huh? Gosh.
Oh, bonjour Alsace.
Bonjour Alsace. Yeah, she's my sister-in-law.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good to have family around. Yes.
Absolutely.
Sandra, Sandra is greeting you. So, okay, so we still have 1 minute before everybody comes online. Holly, hello, Shabbat Shalom, Holly. And of course, some of you are watching us on Twitter and also on YouTube. So I don't see your names. So Shabbat Shalom to you all. And Alexandra is here. Julie. So Julie, you had your birthday a couple of days ago. So happy belated birthday, Julie. Julie. Yeah, she had a birthday. And okay, so it's almost 9:30. It's going to be fun. Tina, over to you.
Shabbat Shalom, Rene. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'd like to start tonight's service with a little poem. Shabbat settles on Jerusalem like a dove, gliding on silent wings. Shabbat settles in my heart, a lover with open arms, embracing my soul with song, wrapped in quiet breathing. I send blessings into the world, light, bread, prayers of peace. I'll attempt to stand up. Let's see if I can. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher gidishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Amen. We turn to page 70, and we have Psalm 95. So I can see that Sibyl and Michelle and Philip and Ashton have joined us just now, Rebecca. And Paul. Oh, you're in Texas, Paul. Wow. Oh. Gosh, that's a long way. Okay, page 70. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. נריע, נריע, לצור אישנו נקדמה פניו בתודה. נריע, נריע, לצור אישנו, בזמירות נריע לו. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. Psalm 91, page 91, Psalm 90, page 71, Psalm 96. We'll get there. שירו לאדוני, שירו שחדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, שירו שחדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני, שירו שחדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, שירו שחדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. So Tina and I will read responsively the same psalm on page 71. Sing a new song to the Eternal One.
Sing to your Creator, all the earth.
Sing to the Eternal One, praise God's name.
Proclaim God's salvation from day to day.
Declare God's glory among the nations.
God's wonders among all the peoples.
For great is the Eternal One, and greatly to be praised.
To be revered above all other gods.
For all of them are mere idols.
But the Eternal One made the heavens.
Honor and majesty are in God's presence.
Strength and beauty in God's sanctuary.
Acclaim the Eternal One, all races and people.
Acknowledge God's glory and might.
Worship the Eternal One in the beauty of holiness.
Tremble in God's presence, all the earth.
Declare among the nations, God reigns, the world stands firm.
God judges the peoples with justice.
Let the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice.
Let the sea and all that fills it roar out praise.
Let the field exult and all that is in it.
Let the trees of the forest shout for joy before God, who comes to rule the earth.
To rule the world with righteousness.
And the peoples with truth.
On page 73. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת בלי תהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נהסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. פני שבת נקבלה, התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי יורי. אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלם, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה. בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה. פני שבת נקבלה. Oh, Shabbat Shalom Augusto from Brazil. Wow, it's a long way. We are very, very happy to have you with us tonight. I mean,
Absolutely.
tonight. It's only 2 hours late, so it's only 4:30 in Brazil. Huh? Oh, okay. So, Shabbat Shalom, Sarah. So you had a computer crash. Okay, this happens. And Philip, no, you're not late, Philip. You're not late at all.
Hi, Phil.
Shabbat Shalom, Meira. Meira, it's good to have you with us. And Liz and Kay and Seymour. Shabbat Shalom, Dominique, Donna. Shabbat Shalom, Jenny and Sandra and Anna and Louisa. I think, yeah, if I've missed someone, you are in our hearts and we welcome you to this service. So now we're on page 92.
Yeah. Okay. Barahu et Adonai Hamevora. Baruch Adonai Hamevora Leolam. Amen. We praise the Eternal One, to whom our praise is due forever. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening fall. Unending love have you shown your people, the house of Israel. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts have you taught us. When we lie down and when we rise up, we will reflect on the meaning of your laws and rejoice in the words of your Torah and in your mitzvot forever. On them we will meditate day and night, for they are our life and the length of our days. May your love never depart from us. We praise you, O God. You love your people Israel. Shema Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Sorry. Behafta et Adonai Elohecha B'kol levavcha uv'kol nafshecha uv'kol madecha. V'hayu hadabarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzvaha ayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibatam v'shiptecha v'vetecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbacha uv'hukumecha ukshatam la'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha v'uchtachtam al mezuzot betecha uvisharecha. Laman tiskaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kodoshim lelohihem ani Adonai Elohehem asher hotzeti ethem me'eretz Mitzrayim להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני Adonai Elohim. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly, we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together, or not. Who is like you, Eternal One, among the gods people worship? Who is like you, glorious in holiness, awesome in splendor, doing wonders? The eternal God shall reign forever and ever. And it has been said, the Eternal One has delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace. We praise you, O God. May your sheltering peace descend on us and all who dwell on earth.
We're on page 97. 97. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'emoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Lea, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכה חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שריו. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מת אם אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריע השמש, ומוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיע ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. קדוש אתה ונוחה שמך, והן לנו אלוה מבלעדיך. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. We thank you, O God, for this Sabbath day, which calls us to a closer communion with you. Though you are near to us at all times, you reveal your presence most clearly when we direct our thoughts towards you in worship and meditation. In you, O God, our humanity is exalted. You are our life. From you come its greatness, its power, its beauty. Establish in us, we humbly pray, a devotion to you that shall be firm in all the circumstances of life. May this service renew in our hearts the sense of your presence and bring us peace. Yes. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. Page 100. Our God and God of ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, eternal one, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. Retzei Adonai Eloheinu, be'amecha Yisrael, u'tefilatam be'ava tekabel, u'tehi leratzon, תמיד עבודת ישראל, עמך, ישראל עמך, ברוך אתה, אדוני, שאותך לבדך, בעירה נעבוד, נעבוד, נעבוד. מודים אנחנו לך. We give thanks that you, eternal one, are our God, as you were the God of ancestors. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. We praise you, O God, source of goodness, to whom our thanks are due.
We're going to take in a minute, just a minute or so, maybe time to have our own private prayer. And just before that, I'd like to share with you a prayer that I used to carry around with me in my handbag for years. And it spoke to me then, it still speaks to me now. and I'd like to share it. It's called Waiting Rooms, and it's by Julian Tuvim. I pray to you, O Lord, from all my heart. O Lord, I pray to you with fervour and zeal, for the sufferings of the humiliated, for the uncertainty of those who wait, for the non-return of the dead, for the helplessness of the dying, for the sadness of the misunderstood, for those who request in vain, for all those abused, scorned, and disdained, for the silly, the wicked, the miserable, for those who hurry in pain to the nearest physician, those who return from work with trembling and anguished hearts to their homes, for those who are roughly treated and pushed aside, for those who are hissed on the stage, for all who are clumsy, ugly, tiresome, and dull, for the weak, the beaten, the oppressed, for those who cannot find rest during long sleepless nights, for those who are afraid of death, for those who wait in pharmacies, for those who have missed the train, for all the inhabitants of our earth and all their pains and troubles, their worries, sufferings, disappointments, all their griefs, afflictions, sorrows, longings, failures, defeats, for everything which is not joy, comfort, happiness, bliss. Let these shine forever upon them with tender love and brightness. I pray to you, O Lord, most fervently. I pray to you, O Lord, from the depths of my heart. Perhaps you'd now like to take a moment just to think of a couple of things you could add to that you might just add to your prayers just for a moment. May it be your will, eternal God, that love and harmony, peace and friendship shall dwell among us. Help us to face the future with confidence and hope. Guide us in your world with good companions and good intentions. When we rise up in the morning, may we find our hearts ready to revere you, and may our deepest longings be fulfilled for good. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Rene, would you like to sing the O Say Shalom with me?
Okay. O say shalom bimroma, Yahaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel, ve'imru amen. Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol bnei Adam. So Tina, I have a request for you from Sarah.
Oh.
Sarah is asking to share this poem in the newsletter. So will you be able to send it around to Craig, and then we'll put it? It's a wonderful poem.
It is lovely, and it's the fact that it still resonates, and particularly now. So it's story time, everybody. I wouldn't dare to, while we have the revered rabbi with us, to do a Devar Torah on the parasha. And I love stories of all sorts, and I thought I'd share a story with you, a sort of a Shabbat story. Anyway, so I hope you're all sitting comfortably, and with wherever you are. So a little bit of foreplay beforehand. I didn't mean. So Rabbi Hillel lived in the 1st century and was a leader of an important group of scholars and teachers in ancient Palestine known as the Pharisees. The Pharisees believed that the words of the Torah needed to be studied and interpreted in every generation. In this way, the many laws and commandments would have meaning for the Jewish people in their everyday lives. Of all the great rabbis of that time, Hillel was the most beloved by scholars and common people alike. In the many stories and legends about the rabbinic sages that have been passed down, he is the one most remembered as a wise counselor and a patient teacher. There was once a young courtier in King Herod's palace who made a wager with his friends that he could make Rabbi Hillel angry. He'd heard of Hillel and decided that he wanted to see if he was really as wise and patient as everyone said. On the following day, he went to the study house where Hillel was teaching a portion of the Torah. "Rabbi, Rabbi," he cried, interrupting the lesson, "why do the Babylonians have round heads?" Hillel turned to him and said, "That is because their midwives are not properly trained." And the young man left. But the next day he came back again and cried out in the middle of a discussion of law, "Rabbi, Rabbi, why do the Egyptians have flat feet?" And Hillel responded, "That is because they walk for miles along the marshlands of the Nile." Then quietly he returned to his students. "Wait, Rabbi, I have another question for you," the young man called out. Hillel spoke softly. "Ask it, my friend, and I shall try to answer." "Why do the Numidians have such weak eyes?" Hillel said, "I'm sure that is because of the harsh wind that blows throughout their land and the sand that is always blowing in their eyes." And with that, he returned peacefully to the discussion at hand. But Herod's courtier hadn't given up yet. He had wagered 400 tzutzim with his friends that he could make Hillel angry, and he didn't want to lose his bet. All night he stayed up until he hit upon a plan. The next day, he burst through the door of the study house, stood in front of Hillel, and started hopping up and down, saying, "Rabbi, Rabbi, can you teach me the whole of Torah while I stand on one foot?" All of Hillel's students looked up from the text they were reading and stared at the young man. Hopping up and down and repeating the question over and over, he looked like a stork, flapping his wings and squawking. They whispered to one another, "We study the teaching of the Torah day in and day out. How can Hillel give him an answer in just a few words?" Rabbi Hillel remained unperturbed. He looked straight into the young man's eyes and said, "That which is hateful unto yourself, do it not unto your neighbor. That is the whole of Torah. The rest is commentary. Now go and learn." The young courtier stood perfectly still. Then he said to Hillel, "I hope there are no more in the land of Israel like you." Hillel asked him, "Why is that?" And the courtier replied in a huff, "Because of you, I've lost a wager of 400 tzutzim." Hillel smiled into his beard and said, "My friend, it is better that you should lose a wager than I should lose my temper." The young man returned to Herod's court, and what happened to him after that is hard to say. But the words of Hillel the wise and patient teacher are remembered to this very day. Many religious traditions have a golden rule, such as Rabbi Hillel's. The Christian tradition has the teaching, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." And in the Quran, it says, "Repel the evil with what is better, and you will see that the worst of enemies can become the best of friends." The phrase, "while standing on one foot," is still a saying in Yiddish, "auf ein Fuß," and in Hebrew, "al regel achat." Like this story, it means to do something quickly or to do a long and complicated thing in a short amount of time. Okay, and now if we're going to turn to page 213, and all that has divided us. And then all that has divided us will merge, and then compassion will be wedded to power, and then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind, and then both men and women will be gentle, and then both women and men will be strong, and then no person will be subject to another person's will, and then all will be rich and free and varied, and then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many, and then all will share equally in the earth's abundance, and then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old, and then all will nourish the young, and then all will cherish life's creatures, and then all will live in harmony with each other and earth, and then everywhere will be called Eden once again.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you for this wonderful story. I mean, stories teach so much. You know, you don't need a book of you don't need a treatise. You know, you just need to hear a good story. There's so much, and the good thing, you know, Sandra Levine actually stayed awake during the story, which usually she falls asleep during my sermon. So you did something great. And guys, you've heard what she said. Tina said, I'm a revered rabbi, so I really expect you to behave in this way. Okay, so now it's time for the Kaddish, and then I will make some announcements. If you have names, I will say the names we have in your site list for this Shabbat. If you have other names, please add them on the comment section on Facebook. So this week's outside with Maurice Sear, the husband of Irene Sear, Milton Rothschild, the father of Ellen French, Norman Crevis, the father of Stephanie Wigening and grandfather of Joshua, Les and Tukey Wolfson, the parents of Lauren Wolfson and grandparents of Nathan and Noah Horn, and Michael Leifer, the husband of Francis Leifer. Normally we don't say the Kaddish for someone before the burial, before the actual funeral, but today it was the funeral of Esther Rothschild, the mother of Rabbi Sylvia Rothschild and Rabbi Walter Rothschild. And we all know now that our dear friend Janos Gal passed away on Friday morning. So the funeral will be on the 6th of April. Yeah, as I said, normally we don't say the Kaddish for someone before, but we'll say the Kaddish for Janos as well. So I can't see any other name on the comment section. So I invite you to join me for the Kaddish on page 524. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם לעלמי עלמיה, יתברר וישתבר ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל בני אדם ואמרו אמן. So, in terms of announcement, we have some very exciting things happening this Shabbat. at KLS. So just to remind you that tomorrow we have the first bat mitzvah of the 2021 bat B'nai mitzvah season with Tess Weinstein. So Tess Weinstein is having her bat mitzvah tomorrow afternoon, actually. We will do the Shabbat morning service, but because her family lives in the United States and they were unable to travel to the UK for the bat mitzvah, we decided to have a bat mitzvah a bit later so they can also join live and not just see a recorded version of the service. And tomorrow we also have Tammy Rich, who will lead the music for the bat mitzvah. So all the details are in the newsletter. So tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. we have KLS Presents, and we will have musicians from all over the community. Again, the details are on the newsletter, and I think Craig just sent around before Shabbat an email with the details. So there's a book crusher tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, and just trying to find out which book you're reading, The Dove Keepers by Alice Hoffman. What else? Yeah, the usual classes, Tuesday evening, Biblical Hebrew, Extreme Judaism. A warm thank you to Dominic Scholtes, who agreed to start a new Hebrew for Beginners class after Easter. We have a lot of people who actually want to learn to read Hebrew, which is great. So thank you, Dominic, for accepting to do that. And next week, it's the usual stuff, sorry, usual services. And on Sunday, the 21st of March, we have a cook along with Anne Shannock. We'll invite you to do a version spanakopita. Oh, I did it correctly, this one. Delicious savory Greek pie filled with spinach and feta cheese. And we're working on interesting Pesach version for this year. So if you want to come along, the second night will be online, of course, 5:30, because we want to include our children. So there will be a lot of different creative versions of the different steps of the Seder. Yes, so Rebecca Zingerman said there's the last call for interviewees for our Seder Plates video series. So please contact Rebecca. And last but not least, as you say in English, on Tuesday we went to the Beit Din with Meira. So she went to the Beit Din, and she's now a fully-fledged member of the Jewish people, fully-fledged member of Kingston Liberal Synagogue, and a fully-fledged paying member of the synagogue as well. So I'm going to tell the accountant to come back to you. So Mazel Tov and Brocha Ba'a Meira. That's really good to. Yeah, it was a very nice moment, and we were very much looking forward to being with you in the coming years, whatever you plan to do. Okay, so over to you, Tina, for the final song.
Just a quickie before that. I have to admit, I was very shocked to hear about Sylvia and Walter's mother. Sylvia was my first rabbi, and the family link goes back further than that. My mother's best friend's daughter was bat mitzvahed by Sylvia up in Yorkshire, yes, so we go back a long way. So yeah, my thoughts go out, and I haven't heard, but yes, very sad. So apologies to you for my voice. I did warn the rabbi that my voice is unreliable, and I'm just going to prove it again. I would normally have Neil at this stage, but poor Neil's had a lot of sort of dental surgery, and is sitting in the other room minus his 4 front teeth at the moment. the song, so many schools in Surrey have been subjected to 2 Shabbat songs as Neil and I have gone round schools. One of them is a little ditty which is an absolute earworm, which is "We sing Shabbat, we sing shalom," and so on. So no, I'm not going to do that, but so we're just going to have a rousing chorus, and I hope you'll all join me and sing, and please drown me out with Ma Yafe. Okay, so Ma Yafe Hayom Shabbat Shalom, Ma Yafe Hayom Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. I won't give you any more, but I wish you all Shabbat Shalom and take care.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you for co-leading this service so beautifully. So for those who are watching us online, if you want to co-lead the service, please let me know. I'm very happy to share it. I know that I need to talk to Vince because the next one will be with Vince. But if you have, if you want to lead the service, please contact me. So let's do now the Kiddush on page 563. And if you have your kids around you, near you, you can do the parental blessings, which are on page 563. May God bless us and guide us. Let us seek truth, make peace, be kind and courteous in our words, just and loving in our deeds. A noble heritage has been entrusted to us. Let us guard it well. Yevarech Adonai ve'ishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God look kindly upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God reach out to you in tenderness and give you peace. Page 564, and we do the Kiddush. ויחולו השמיים וארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן, אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת, אמן. לחיים. Okay, so I left my bread in the kitchen and it's 2 stores below, so I'm not going to go. You can do the motzi. Ah, you've got, okay, so do it. Do the motzi.
Ah, dear. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom, and
Shabbat shalom.
we'll see you tomorrow online at 1 p.m. Shabbat shalom. I think we off. No.
Right?
No, we're still online. Actually, I don't understand why. Okay. Okay, so how can I stop a video now? No. Okay, good. No.
Okay.
Okay, so I need to close the Zoom link, Tina. Huh? Okay.